All right. Hey, everyone. I'm here with Coach Jacqui Bowman. Hey, Jackie.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me. It's
Yeah,
exciting.
thanks for joining me today. So, just as a point of quick introduction, you do business in Northeast Ohio. You're also a real estate coach, and you've been at the last you've been in real estate for like 17 years, right?
I know that makes me feel really old.
How is that possible? You're only 25.
I'm only 25, right?
Exactly. But 10 of those years were at KW and four of them have been at eXp. Tell us a little bit about your journey to get here. What happened?
Yeah. So absolutely. So was at Keller Williams for quite a few years actually, and was a team leader, or what we call a team leader was an office
Mhm.
manager.
Yeah, that's
About
what Monica
140 agents.
was.
What's that?
If people listen to the podcast, that's what Monica was, the team leader
Yes,
at our
Monica was
office.
as
Yeah.
well. Yes, that's how we actually connected later
Nice.
on in life.
Hmm.
But yeah, so just love that whole KW model. I mean, absolutely. It was definitely the next up and coming thing. And back when I joined KW in 2009, it was like they were
It
the
was
new kid
cutting
on the
edge.
block.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they were the new kid on the block, and if you join them, you'll have to do everything yourself. And she's
Right. I
probably going to
remember that
fail and
too.
come back. And who's EXP? Who's Keller Williams was the
Right.
big thing, because Keller Williams didn't even come to Ohio till 2006, right? So
Wow.
it's this 3-year young thing.
Yeah.
But I just knew at the time, I was a single mom, and I just knew that 50-50 at that time. I knew I could do better than that. It wasn't that I
Hmm.
wasn't unhappy, because I was very happy where I was
Hmm.
at, but I was just looking to see what else was out there. And I discovered that I could make 70-30 out of the gate, and that there was no special treatment. And so that, honestly, I knew they were cutting edge, and I've always just kind of followed that
Yeah.
pattern. But your original question was, how did I end up at EXP?
Right.
And so fast forward to March of 2017, it was actually later fall of 2016. I was at Berkshire Hathaway actually at the time,
Hmm.
because I was teaching and coaching. I was their productivity coach, if you will, and I was like their sales manager kind of a thing. And
Okay.
David Best actually owned a Keller Williams office up in Cleveland, and he called me and he said, "Hey, can you meet for a beer?" And I was like, "Sure." He's
Yeah.
like, "I
Why
got to show
not?
you this thing." And I'm like, "Okay."
Hey.
And I trusted him because I was his team leader years
Hmm.
ago in 2009 to 2012. And I hadn't talked to him in a couple of years. I'm like, "Yeah, I want to hear what you're up to." And he's all excited, right?
Right.
So he
Right.
opens up his laptop and he starts showing me these like avatar things. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like,
What the hell is
"What is
this?
this?" Right. He's like, "Trust me, Jackie. It's the Amazon of real estate. It's
Hmm.
coming." Da, da.
Hmm.
So I looked at it with him, and that day I was just like, wow, like this is based on the KW model, but majorly improved in
Hmm.
many different ways.
Hmm.
And when I saw the revenue share piece and the stock piece, and I trusted Dave, if he was going to sell his profitable Keller Williams office and
Right.
take this risk, I was like, "Yeah, I'm all in. I'm here to support you." And I
Yeah.
trusted him, and I was in. And
Yeah.
to be honest, at the time, I didn't really know what I was getting into, but I'm so glad that I did. Because,
No,
at
you're
the
the
time,
second agent in Ohio, right?
yeah, second agent
Look
in
at
Ohio.
you.
Yeah, and we came over with a small group of agents that, also reviewed the model and made their decision, and they were
Mhm.
brave as well. I mean, I talked to so many agents today, and they're like, "Well, we don't really have any EXP agents around here. Like, what are my clients going to think?" And I'm like, "We
They don't
joined
even
theirs too." Like,
well, they don't even I find that most clients have no idea what brokerage
they
I'm
don't.
with when I deal with them.
They
They don't
don't.
even care.
They don't. They are doing business with you. And I'm sure if people listen to the podcast, you guys have talked about that before, but
Mhm.
it's just been crazy ever since. So fast forward 4 years, EXP Ohio just turned 4 years old.
Mhm.
EXP Realty launched in 2009. So they're actually quite a bit older, but
Yeah, they're
EXP
older.
Ohio, we're pretty
That's
new here.
awesome.
So
Well,
yeah.
when you were talking, I thought of a question. You weren't looking to move and you were
No.
happy. And I
Yeah.
think like a lot of people think that they should only move when they're unhappy. And I'm with you. We were happy too. And I actually think when you're unhappy is the worst time to make a decision, a financial decision.
Absolutely.
So for people that aren't really looking to move, but they do want to grow, what kind of questions can they be asking themselves to see if they're in the right place or not?
Yeah, I think just as a business owner
Hmm.
and you understanding that your clients and your real estate business is all generated by you. You
Hmm.
are the business, right? And
Right.
so what we do in our business is we try to figure out, how am I going to get my leads? What's the best system for me to lead generate, right? Which I
Hmm.
love
Right.
you and Monica, like relationship based versus transactional.
Right.
But those are different choices that we make. And I think as a real estate agent, we have to also say to ourselves, you know what? I should look at all of the different platforms out there and stay up to date on that,
Hmm.
because there could be something else out there that aligns better with how I am succeeding and what I want to do in my 3-year, 5-year plan. Right. And so I think a
Right.
lot of times it's just asking yourself, well, when's the last time I actually looked outside of my brokerage
It's kind
to
of like
see what else is out
reevaluating your insurance like every
there?
few
Yes,
years. It's like,
absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. And, there is no harm in switching brokerages. Like
right.
I've done it a couple times. And,
Yeah.
and so every time it's like I've increased my income or I've increased my opportunity. Like,
Hmm.
was it my dream to go from Keller Williams to Berkshire Hathaway? No,
No.
I was offered an opportunity
Right.
and a possible opportunity to have ownership in the future, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And so that actually said, okay, for my 5-year and my 10-year goals, I actually had a better opportunity with Berkshire at the time than I currently had with Keller Williams.
Right.
But it wasn't like I was unhappy with Keller Williams.
Right.
It was just that I was out there talking and networking with people that were ahead of me
Hmm.
where I wanted to be. And I
Hmm.
found and learned and
Well,
created for
that
myself
that
new
brings up a
opportunities.
good point. It's like, if there's always wondering too, like for us, is a lot of big agents are moving. So it's like, okay, well, if the big agents are moving, a lot of big agents are moving to
Yeah.
EXP. Like, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing? And that's kind of what, when I moved, that was part of what intrigued me. Like, oh, because I'm not as an early adopter as you, but I'm like right behind you. We were
Mhm.
like 2.5 years. You know what I mean? I
You
want
just
to
didn't
see
know what
like,
you didn't know. You didn't hear
yeah,
about it.
right. Well, plus I was also traveling the world,
Yes, yes, you were.
I was busy. But yeah, but when I saw people moving, like people I admired and respected, I was like, "Oh, let me check this out for a second," you know?
And especially people that loved their brokerage
Yeah.
and loved where they were at and were maybe the top people in that office, and they kept the top people happy. I mean, there
Yeah.
was no reason for them to move. And, for retention as managers and team leaders, like we're pretty good at that.
Right.
And so to see people move, it's definitely jaw dropping sometimes, for
Yeah.
sure.
That's
Yeah.
true. Well, I think those are really good points. I think they are good questions to ask. And definitely, I encourage people, if they're not happy, to stop and take a look at themselves first before thinking that changing brokerages is going to make you happy, because it won't.
It
It's
won't.
something that, because your business, it is about you. And that's the whole point. It's not the brokerage. So you will continue to be you. So you got to work
Yes.
on that,
I always tell agents the minute you passed your real estate exam, you very quickly became an entrepreneur
Hmm.
and a business owner. And
Right.
I talked to them about, give me the characteristics of an entrepreneur. Well, they research, they
Hmm.
experiment,
Hmm.
they have to be self-driven, right? Your
Right.
brokerage is literally the resource center for you to do what you want to do. It
Right.
is not going to do it for you
No,
and
no,
serve it to you on a platter. So yeah,
no.
it's
Well, yeah.
definitely different.
When I became an entrepreneur, I realized my boss was still an asshole. It's just me.
It's you. Right, 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 right.
That's funny. Well, I know you do a lot of coaching. So tell us
Sure.
about, I'd like to hear a little bit more about your coaching.
Yeah. So just to kind of summarize who I am, what I'm about, and what my
Mhm.
coaching is about.
You're fabulous. That's what we
Ironically,
know.
yeah, ironically, I launched my coaching business in 2017 as well.
Okay.
And I coach agents from all different brokerages, inside EXP, outside EXP, it doesn't really matter.
Mhm.
I'm very relationship based. And I
Hashtag
really,
Team Monica.
I
Oh.
know, I know. I really like to focus though on vision,
Mhm.
planning, like I love the 12-week year planning book by
Yeah.
Brian Moran. But really looking at that whole, if you've read the Strengths Finders book, trying to talk here, what you're really good at and what's in alignment with who you are. I always ask agents, if the activities you're doing today, if you can't do those happily every day for the next 15 years, we need to find something that's in alignment with who you are.
Right.
We just think you're weird, Jen, that you love the cold calling. But
that's okay. I don't care.
But I mean, so I like to coach agents on giving themselves permission to reinvent themselves, realign, and redesign their plan based on who they are. Because when you create your own plan and it's in alignment with who you are, I mean, we get exposed to so many ways in real estate that you can, quote unquote, become successful.
Right.
It could be cold calling, FSBOs, expired.
Anything.
There's just so many things thrown at you. But it paralyzes so many agents and they do nothing.
Right.
And then they have that blame and guilt and shame of, I should be cold calling like Jen. If I was, I'd be like her. And I should be doing my send out cards like Monica, because if I was, I'd be like her.
Right.
And it's more about just saying, stop.
Yeah.
Let's get some clarity on who you are.
Right.
And figure out what you can do to make this successful. So
I love
that's
it.
my little synopsis, I guess, on how I coach. But there's no like Jacqui Bowman system you're going to buy or anything like that.
Gotcha.
I'm very good at the one-on-one coaching and taking you through that process.
That's awesome. That's good. Yeah. I think it's important to figure out what's authentic to you for sure.
Yeah.
Because that's going to make you a better like salesperson for your clients.
Yeah. Because it's all about your energy.
Exactly.
People buy what you're selling. They buy your energy. And if you're not behind it, forget it.
True. So if people have a, is there something else you wanted to say?
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay. If people have a referral for Northeast Ohio, or they're interested in your coaching, or they're interested in eXp, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Actually, I spell my name really weird. Oh, you can see it on the screen there. It's JacquiBowman.Work. JacquiBowman.Work. If you go in there, you can schedule a 15-minute call with me. You can see what current classes are going on. You can search for homes. You can send me a referral. It's just all in one place.
That's awesome. I love it.
So
perfect.
It's a little digital business card, but yeah, it forwards you to all different things. So yeah, you can jump on my calendar. I'll give you anybody 15 minutes.
Perfect.
Let me know what you're looking for. And if it's not me, I can connect you with the right person.
That's awesome. Now, what are you hoping people take away? What's one takeaway from this video?
From this video? The best real estate agents that have the most success are happy with themselves and they have high energy, which typically means we're not complainers.
Right.
We all love our brokerage. We all love our broker. We all love all of those things.
Yeah.
But just realize that you could be missing out on something even better just because you're complacent, right? Or
that's a bad word.
There's
no cussing on this podcast.
Yeah, but still, like, just because you're comfortable, that's the word I was looking for. Just because you're comfortable, right? So how do you keep yourself going to the next level? Well, and happy?
In every business book and every coach, I mean, growth happens when you're uncomfortable, honestly, right?
Right.
That's awesome. I always learn something when I talk to you, Jacqui. Thank you.
Awesome.
I appreciate it. Thanks for being on.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jen.
See ya.
See ya.